Welcome back to the channel, USA Science 69, Coin Collectors and History Buffs. Today, we're uncovering the fascinating story and incredible value behind one of America's most iconic coins, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. This humble 1-cent piece, featuring the famous wheat stalks on its reverse, is more than just spare change. It's a treasure chest of history, design, and hidden value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual collector, stick around because by the end of this video, you might just be holding on to a fortune. Let's begin by traveling back in time to the year 1950. Post-World War II America was a nation filled with optimism, growth, and change. The Lincoln wheat penny had been in circulation since 1909, and by 1950, it was a familiar face in the hands of everyday Americans. The coin features the proud profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, honoring the 16th president's legacy and the nation's enduring values of freedom and unity. But what truly sets the Lincoln wheat penny apart, especially those minted in 1950, is the design on the reverse, the two golden wheat ears framing the words, 1 cent and United States of America. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, symbolizes America's agricultural roots and was used on pennies from 1909 until 1958. The wheat penny is beloved not only for its classic aesthetic but also for the story it tells about America's past. Now, when we talk about the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, there's something special collectors need to know: the mint marks. These tiny letters, found just below the date on the coin's face, indicate where the coin was produced. In 1950, pennies were minted at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. Each mint produced coins with subtle differences in detail, and some mint marks are far rarer and more sought after than others. For instance, the 1950 S and 1950 D pennies often command greater interest among collectors due to their unique qualities and lower mintages compared to Philadelphia. Condition plays a massive role in determining the worth of any coin, and the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is no exception. Coins that show heavy wear, scratches, or corrosion typically hold modest value, usually just a few cents or dollars over face value. However, those preserved in near mint or mint state condition can fetch significant sums. This is because well-preserved coins offer collectors a glimpse into the past almost exactly as the coin looked when it left the mint. Crisp details in Lincoln's profile, sharp lettering, and intact wheat ears increase a coin's desirability exponentially. What makes the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny stand out in the world of coin collecting is not just its age or design, but some rare varieties and minting errors that can send its value soaring. From double die errors where letters appear doubled, to misplaced mint marks or off-center strikes, these anomalies are prized by collectors because they're scarce and tell a story about the coin production process itself. Spotting these errors takes a keen eye, but the payoff can be substantial. Over the years, collectors have discovered numerous 1950 pennies with such unique characteristics, and when verified by professional grading services, these coins have often been auctioned off for impressive amounts. Some coins have even been preserved so well that their luster and detail rival coins minted decades later, making them prized pieces in any serious collection. Speaking of value, here's the exciting part. While most 1950 Lincoln wheat pennies in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars, the truly rare and mint-condition specimens have been known to fetch staggering prices. In fact, a perfect 1950 Lincoln wheat penny, especially one with a rare mint mark or error, can be valued at nearly $190,000. Yes, you heard that right, $190,000 for a single penny. This astounding figure highlights just how much history, rarity, and preservation can transform an everyday object into a valuable treasure. Today, we're diving deep into the story and value of a truly remarkable coin from American history, the 1945 Lincoln wheat penny. This isn't just any penny, it's a piece of the past that carries with it the echoes of a pivotal year in world history and a chance for collectors to own a rare and potentially priceless artifact. If you think pennies are just pocket change, think again, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why a single 1945 Lincoln wheat penny with the right mint mark and condition could be worth an astonishing amount. Let's begin with a look back at the year 1945 itself. This was the final year of World War II, a year marked by monumental events, hope, and new beginnings. America was transitioning from wartime to peace, and every piece of history from that era tells a story of resilience and transformation. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted throughout the war years, was a silent witness to these changes. Each coin carried the image of Abraham Lincoln, reminding Americans of unity and perseverance in times of trial. The design of the Lincoln Wheat Penny is classic and instantly recognizable. On the front, or obverse, we see the strong, thoughtful profile of President Lincoln, crafted by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His likeness had adorned the penny since 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth and becoming the first U.S. coin to feature a president's image. On the reverse side, the coin showcases two sheaves of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and growth, framing the words, 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat design was used from 1909 to 1958 and remains a favorite among collectors for its historic charm and symbolism. Now, the mint mark is where things get interesting. In 1945, pennies were minted primarily at two locations: Philadelphia, which produced coins with no mint mark, and Denver, which used the D mint mark. There's also the San Francisco Mint, though it didn't produce pennies that year. The mint mark's placement is just below the date on the coin's obverse side. While most 1945 pennies were widely circulated and fairly common, those with the Denver mint mark in excellent condition can be quite rare, and thus far more valuable. Condition is absolutely key when it comes to the value of any coin, especially one as old as this. Circulated 1945 pennies typically hold modest value, often just a few cents above their face value, which may not excite the casual collector. But here's the secret: pennies preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, can fetch dramatically higher prices. These coins look almost as brilliant and detailed as the day they left the mint, with every line in Lincoln's profile sharp and every grain of wheat clearly visible. Collectors and experts also pay close attention to special variations and minting errors on 1945 pennies. For instance, some 1945 pennies contain unique double die errors, where parts of the design appear double due to a misalignment during the coin striking process. Others may have misplaced mint marks or off-center strikes. These anomalies are highly prized because they represent rare moments in minting history that make each coin one of a kind. Over time, such coins have sparked intense interest at auctions and among collectors worldwide. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny, especially those with the Denver mint mark or notable errors, have made headlines for selling at astonishing prices. And it's not just about monetary value. The historical significance and rarity combine to create a perfect storm of desirability. So what does all this mean in terms of actual worth? While the average penny from 1945 might not break the bank, a well-preserved Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1945, especially with the sought-after mint mark and any rare features, can be worth an eye-popping $195,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $195,000 for a single 1-cent coin. It's a staggering reminder that sometimes, the smallest things hold the greatest treasures. If you've ever found a 1945 penny tucked away in a drawer or inherited a collection from family, now might be the perfect time to take a closer look. Examine the mint mark, the coin's condition, and whether it shows any unusual features. You could be holding onto a slice of American history that's worth far more than its face value. Today, we're focusing on a classic piece of American numismatic history, the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny. This humble 1-cent coin is packed with rich history and holds a special place in the hearts of collectors worldwide. But beyond its historic value, this penny could potentially be worth an incredible amount of money. Stick with me as we explore everything about the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, from its background and design to its rarity and what it could fetch on the market today. Let's start with a little historical context. The year 1954 was a significant time in American history, a period marked by post-war recovery and the early years of the Cold War. The United States was undergoing rapid changes in society, technology, and culture. While the world was shifting dramatically, the Lincoln Wheat Penny remained a constant in everyday transactions. This penny, minted just a few years after World War II, served not only as currency but also as a symbol of continuity and tradition. the Lincoln wheat penny itself has a rich lineage. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. The design quickly became iconic. On the obverse, you see the profile of Abraham Lincoln, capturing his solemn and determined expression. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this image has stood the test of time. On the reverse side, the two ears of wheat gracefully frame the denomination and the country's name, symbolizing prosperity and abundance. This reverse design was used until 1958, making the wheat penny a beloved collector's item. Now, let's talk about the mint mark, which is a critical factor when determining a coin's value. In 1954, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which typically has no mint mark, and Denver, which carries the D mint mark located beneath the date on the front of the coin. The presence or absence of a mint mark can significantly affect a penny's rarity and value. Philadelphia coins are generally more common, while the Denver Mint produced fewer pennies that year, especially in high-quality conditions, making them more sought after by collectors. Condition is king in the world of coin collecting. Many 1954 wheat pennies you find today have been heavily circulated, bearing the marks and scratches of decades of use. These circulated coins are generally worth just a few cents above their face value. However, a 1954 wheat penny preserved in mint or near mint condition, meaning it shows little to no wear and retains its original luster, can command a much higher price. Collectors prize these coins because they look almost as fresh as the day they came off the press, but that's not all. Some 1954 wheat pennies feature unique variations or minting errors that make them even more valuable. These might include double dies, where the coin's design appears to be stamped twice, or slight variations in the placement or shape of the mint mark. Error coins are like numismatic unicorns, rare and highly sought after by collectors because they represent unique moments in minting history. Because of these factors, the year, the mint mark, the condition, and the rarity of certain errors, the 1954 Lincoln wheat penny can be a real treasure for collectors. Coins in pristine condition with rare mint marks or errors have been known to fetch prices that might surprise you. So, what's the big reveal? How much could a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny with the right mint mark and in top condition be worth today? The answer is staggering. This seemingly modest penny could be worth $197,000. That's right, $197,000 for a single 1-cent coin. If you have a 1954 Lincoln wheat penny tucked away in your collection, or if you stumble upon one at a garage sale or in your grandfather's old coin jar, it's worth a closer look. Check the mint mark carefully, assess the coin's condition, and consider having it professionally graded. You might be holding onto a piece of history that could change your life. Today, we're turning our spotlight to a truly iconic and historically rich coin, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1947. This penny is more than just a 1-cent piece, it's a captivating fragment of American history and, as you'll soon discover, potentially a very valuable treasure. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny is part of a series that spans from 1909 to 1958, a series renowned for its timeless design and historical significance. But before we jump into the details about its value, rarity, and unique characteristics, let's set the stage by understanding the time period that shaped this coin. The year 1947 was a pivotal moment in American history. World War II had ended just 2 years earlier, and the country was experiencing significant social, economic, and cultural changes. Soldiers were returning home, the economy was transitioning from wartime production to consumer goods, and the United States was stepping into its role as a global superpower. The Lincoln wheat penny was circulating widely during this era, serving as the smallest denomination coin in the U.S., but carrying immense symbolic weight. On the obverse side of the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that has endured over a century. Crafted by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's profile was the first president to appear on a U.S. circulating coin, marking a significant departure from the previous classical designs. Lincoln's image represents unity, perseverance, and the spirit of a nation healing and rebuilding after the devastating Civil War and, now, World War II. Turning the coin over reveals the wheat ears that give this penny its nickname. These two stalks of wheat frame the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, symbolizing agricultural prosperity and the foundation of America's economy. The wheat penny's reverse side is beloved for its simplicity and elegant symbolism, standing as a reminder of the country's roots and hard-working spirit. Now, let's get to one of the most critical aspects of this coin, the mint mark. In 1947, pennies were minted in two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia minted pennies famously carry no mint mark, while Denver minted pennies feature a small D beneath the year on the coin's obverse side. This tiny detail plays a huge role in determining the coin's rarity and value. Denver's 1947 pennies tend to be scarcer in top condition compared to their Philadelphia counterparts, and that makes the D mint mark highly significant to collectors, but mint mark alone doesn't tell the whole story. The condition of the coin, or its grade, is arguably the most important factor when it comes to value. Many 1947 wheat pennies you'll find have been in circulation for decades, showing signs of wear, scratches, and discoloration. These circulated pennies, while still collectible, generally hold only modest value above their face value. However, for collectors, the dream is an uncirculated 1947 wheat penny that looks just as sharp and detailed as the day it left the mint. These coins retain their original luster, with every detail in Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears crisply visible. Achieving this level of preservation after more than 70 years is rare and highly sought after in the numismatic world. Even more fascinating are the 1947 wheat pennies that feature minting errors or unique varieties. These might include double dies, off-center strikes, or differences in the shape and spacing of the letters and numbers. Such anomalies are numismatic treasures because they are one-of-a-kind and can dramatically increase the coin's value. Over the years, many collectors have hunted for the perfect 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, whether it's a pristine specimen or a rare error coin. Auctions and private sales have seen some of these coins fetch remarkable sums, turning what was once a simple penny into a prized collector's item. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? How much could a 1947 Lincoln wheat penny with the right mint mark and in exceptional condition be worth today? The answer is nothing short of astounding. This seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin, when preserved in uncirculated condition and bearing the sought-after mint mark, can command a staggering $187,000. Yes, you heard that right, $187,000 for a single 1947 Lincoln wheat penny. If you happen to come across this coin in your collection or stumble upon it during your coin hunting adventures, it's well worth having it professionally evaluated. The difference between a circulated penny worth a few cents and a high-grade rare piece worth nearly $200,000 is all about condition, mint mark, and those special details only true collectors know how to spot. Today, we're diving deep into a truly fascinating and iconic piece of American numismatic history, the United States 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny from the year 1949. This humble penny, often overlooked in everyday change, hides a wealth of historical significance and collector value that will surprise you. Stick with me as we uncover the rich story behind this coin, explore its design, its unique features, and why it could be worth an astonishing sum of money in today's market. The year 1949 was a remarkable time in American history. The world was emerging from the shadows of World War II, and the United States was transitioning into a period of prosperity and growth. With a booming economy and an optimistic spirit, everyday objects like coins circulated widely, passing through countless hands. Yet, among millions of these coins minted, the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny has carved out a special place in the hearts of collectors worldwide. This penny is part of the Wheat Penny series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. This series is famous not just for its beautiful design but also because it marked the first time Abraham Lincoln's image graced a circulating U.S. coin, commemorating the centennial of his birth. The Lincoln wheat penny is more than just currency. It's a tribute to one of America's most revered presidents and a symbol of unity and resilience. On the front, or obverse, side of the 1949 penny, you'll see the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait has become one of the most recognizable and enduring images in American coinage. Beneath Lincoln's bust is the year 1949, and depending on the mint location, you might notice a small letter, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, known as the mint mark. If there is no mint mark, that indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. This small detail plays a massive role in the coin's rarity and, ultimately, its value. Flipping the coin over reveals the reverse side adorned with 2 stalks of wheat, hence the name wheat penny. These ears of wheat frame the denomination 1 cent and the inscription United States of America. This simple yet elegant design pays homage to America's agricultural roots and the hard-working farmers who helped build the nation. Above the wheat ears, you'll find the phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, which further reinforces the themes of unity and strength that this penny embodies. When it comes to mint marks, each tells a story. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of pennies and famously did not use a mint mark. The Denver Mint, marked with a D, and the San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, produced fewer coins, making these pennies from those locations more sought after by collectors. Additionally, differences in mintages, minting errors, and the coin's condition can all impact its value dramatically. Speaking of condition, this is where things get really exciting. The vast majority of 1949 wheat pennies that you'll come across today have been circulated extensively. This means they show varying degrees of wear. Details on Lincoln's face might be smoothed out, the wheat stalks might be less defined, and the overall luster of the coin has faded. These circulated coins hold sentimental and modest collector value, but their market price remains close to face value or just a few dollars above. However, the true gems in the numismatic world are the 1949 wheat pennies that have been preserved in uncirculated condition, meaning they've never been used in everyday transactions and retain their original mint shine. These coins show sharp details, crisp edges, and no visible wear. Finding a 1949 penny in this pristine state is incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors worldwide. Adding to their allure, some 1949 wheat pennies also exhibit unique minting errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or misplaced mint marks, which make them one of a kind. These rare errors can skyrocket a coin's value by leaps and bounds, attracting passionate collectors willing to pay top dollar for such unusual pieces. Now, for many, the big question is, how much can a 1949 Lincoln wheat penny really be worth? Well, if you happen to own one in exceptional condition, perhaps with a coveted mint mark and ideally with a unique minting anomaly, you could be sitting on a fortune. These rare and well-preserved coins have been known to command prices in the 6-figure range. In fact, a perfectly preserved 1949 Lincoln wheat penny with the right mint mark and in top-grade condition could be valued at an astonishing $197,000. Yes, $197,000 for a single 1-cent coin. Imagine the possibilities. What seems like a simple piece of pocket change could actually be a valuable treasure, capable of making a massive impact on your collection or even your life. It just goes to show how fascinating and unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. Thank you for joining me on this in-depth journey through the history and value of the 1949 Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more incredible stories behind rare coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a single update. Until next time, keep hunting for those hidden treasures, appreciate the rich history behind each coin, and may your collections continue to grow in both value and meaning.